What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is TishaTheBrave. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing okay. Before we get into the video, I would just like to remind you that I have a Patreon account that you can support me on, where I do weekly moon cycle videos. And I also do weekly numerology forecasts on there too. So if you guys are into both of those, you could definitely check me out on there. Patreon.com/TishaTheBrave. Now onto the main gist of this video. Today I'm here to talk about identity in astrology, particularly those who struggle with identity. And I'm here to show you where this could come up in your chart. But also I want to give you tips on how to actually better identify with yourself and your purpose in life. As you guys know, I have a ton of notes, okay? So do not be mad if I'm looking down, okay? If you guys are not new to my channel, you guys will already know that I talk about a lot of spiritual things in general, not just astrology, not just numerology, but I also go into like things like the chakras, because I feel like spirituality is all one thing, and I feel like everything correlates to everything. So right now I'm gonna go into the Sacral Chakra, and I'm gonna like tie it into astrology, because I feel like this is very, very important for you to know. So the Sacral Chakra is the second chakra, and that is the chakra of like the genitals. And if you guys are familiar with that, you would know that this is also a place where you accept your sexuality. It's where you accept your sensuality. It's where you accept your physical appearance. It's where you fall in love with you. And if you use your Sacral Chakra very well, it's the placement where you create from the purest part and the most sensual part of yourself. And a lot of people who are artists always tend to give off this energy in like song format. So a lot of the time, if you're identifying with that piece of art, which is like in song format, in poetry format, whatever it is, what you don't understand is that you have been attracted to somebody who's actually given you their creative energy through their sacral. Now, why is this important in terms of identity? Because this is the chakra where you connect to your body and your sense of self the most. Now, there's two videos you need to watch if you haven't watched it already after this video, which is the sensitive body parts of the zodiac and the zodiac signs and the chakras, which I have both made here. And the reason I'm telling you guys to watch that is because you gain more information on what zodiacs have issues with what chakras, and what zodiac signs have issues with what body parts, right? And these things are interconnected, because the zodiacs that struggle, or the signs that struggle with the sacral, tend to be the Taurus, the Libra, the Scorpio, the Sagittarius, and the Capricorn the most. So I would not be surprised if you are sitting here, you're one of these sun signs, or you're one of these rising signs, or you're one of these moon signs, or there's a lot of that energy in your chart. I wouldn't be surprised if you're here right now watching this video trying to understand yourself, because you have got sacral chakra issues in general, because you guys have sensitive body parts that relate to the chakra. So for example, with the Taurus, although the sensitive part is the neck, right? The neck and the throat chakra and the sacral are interconnected, because they're both ones that give off physical energy. And then we have the Libra, which governs the kidneys and the backside, okay? Then we have the Scorpio, which governs genitals, and Sagittarius, which governs hips, and Capricorns, which governs joints and knees and stuff. But that's near like sacral energy and also root energy. So just generally speaking, if you're any of these signs, or you have a lot of these signs in your chart, yeah, of course you're going to struggle with identity, because you also need to have a good concept of self, because your sacral chakra is I wouldn't say weak, but it needs to be more active, right? You guys may have issues with friend groups. Libras, I'm looking at you because of relationships. Relationships is what you guys govern. Cultural identity. Sagittarius, I'm looking at you guys. So the next thing I want to talk about outside of the chakras is your personal planets in house 1. House 1 is the placement of identity and self. So people who don't tend to have personal planets in house 1 often find themselves at a loss, because there's no increase in energy there. So you'll always have a zodiac sign in a house, but if you don't have any personal planets in that house, sometimes there is a lack of energy in that field. It's a place to find your way in, right? So I understand that very well, because my house 1 is actually empty. So although I'm a Leo rising, and people on the outside see me as a person who has always got something going on with their hair, someone who's creative, someone who's quite romantic, etc, etc, they see me as that person, or bubbly loud person. Do I see myself in that way all the time? Absolutely not. Did I struggle with identity growing up? Absolutely. I had cultural issues growing up left, right and center, and I found that I was always learning through my culture and my identity all the time. The other thing you have to look at in terms of like maybe problematic things with your identity is challenging aspects in your chart. So anything squaring your house 1 or opposing house 1 would be quite challenging due to like the nature of a square and an opposition. If we look at me, I'm a Leo rising, a Pisces sun and a Taurus moon, right? So I have 2 aspects that are harmonizing, water and earth sign, and then I have a Leo rising which squares both of those signs. So at times I can be battling between those sides of my personality, which again makes me feel like I have an identity crisis. And of course, now that I'm older, now that I know more wisdom, now that I know who I am a bit more, you know, I no longer have these issues with that. But I mean, growing up, absolutely I did. Absolutely I did. I was one person in this place and I was another person in that place, and I would be a whole different person in another place. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I just had to... I had different mannerisms in different places, and that's common with people who have a chart like mine, right? We're going to talk about critical degrees in astrology. So if placements are in 0 degrees, which is like the Aries sign, and we're talking about Aries because Aries governs identity, particularly in the cardinal signs, which are like Aries, Libra, Cancer and Capricorn, you're being asked to like start from scratch in this position. So when I say this, a lot of people believe in like previous lives. So a lot of people believe like, oh, in a previous life you may have been a person that was very sure of their identity, very sure of who they are. So in this life you need to learn through that space, you know. So just generally speaking, if you see 0 degrees, especially in a cardinal sign, right, in your chart, and again you have to know your birth time for this stuff, right, then this could be a placement of identity issues, okay? Sometimes it can even show up in like your face, and it can show up in your skin or something. House 1, physical body. So this could also be a thing. So those are some of the ways that you can figure out why you may struggle with your identity. So the question now is, how do you overcome this identity crisis? So the first thing you want to do is just basically accept that you have an issue with who you are. I think a lot of people who have identity crisis do not want to believe that they do not feel good in this setting, that they do not feel good with this group of people, or they do not feel good like hearing about the history of their country. Like they do not want to believe that they feel uneasy. But the truth is you do, and you have to like thank this exact moment in your life, because this is going to lead you to the road of self-acceptance. First step is always to admit that there's something wrong, okay? Then I want you to connect to your sacral chakra. Now this is the part that counts the most, okay? Start creating things for the love of it. Like, and I know you're thinking like, how does creating things help me with my identity? Because when you create from the truest, purest sense of yourself, you often find the root of who you're supposed to be. Like maybe you're being drawn to music, maybe you're being drawn to drawing or something like that, but the essence of who you are will be on that. It will be something that's come directly from you. You need to look in the mirror and be grateful for each and every part of your body. You need to start being grateful for the things that you have, for the place that you're in, for the people that you come from. So even if you are a person that's no longer living with your biological family, this is something you still have to be grateful for, because I often find people with these placements tend to be adopted as well. And so you also need to be grateful for the people that you come from, because those are the people that gave you life. You don't have to be friends with them, but those are the people that gave you life. And those are the people that made you look the way you do. That's also part of self-acceptance. Accepting that you have this big forehead because you're East African. Accepting that you have this hair type. Accepting that you are, in essence, born in this flesh. Okay? And once you're grateful for every part of your body, you then get into things that truly make you comfortable. I don't wear heels anymore, because they don't feel comfortable on my feet. Pisces have sensitive feet. I don't wear heels anymore. And that doesn't make me feel like less of a woman just because I don't wear it. I'm wearing things that I find truly comfortable, and I'm not gonna change myself for anybody as well. Connecting to the cultural parts of you is a very spiritual practice that you must get in tune with. There are people around the world who will only get your mannerisms, that will get the food that you eat, the way that you dress, the way your hair is, the way your nose is. There are people around the world that will only get you in that sense. I have a very strong connection with my Mauritian culture. Like, I make the food, I make sure I listen to the music, sometimes I watch the news on it. Like, I make sure I'm connected to my roots and culture, because there's nobody else in the world that will understand me. I can't go to a neighboring country and they won't get me 100%. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to connect with my culture, I need to connect with my people, and I feel like once you do that, you already have a sense of belonging, you know. And I also suggest, if people are like really lost in where they come from, get an ancestry test. Get that, because it's so important to understand, to connect to your roots and to your culture, because you need to find the people that are you, like you, and it will help you understand yourself a little bit more. Most importantly, connecting to your actual purpose. So if you actually look at your top 3, right, your top 3, your rising, your sun sign, and your moon sign, you'll be able to see clues in what you're supposed to be doing in life. So I am a Pisces sun, okay, with a Leo rising and a Taurus moon. I'm learning constantly through spirituality, and I believe that my purpose is in teaching other people spirituality. And the reason I say that is because Leos govern education. So I am constantly studying all the time, and even my Mercury's in the 9th house of higher education. So I believe that I am supposed to be teaching. And your moon sign is what you always have to get through emotionally. For the longest time, I didn't want to talk about anything. I didn't want to say anything to a lot of people about my thoughts and my feelings regarding spirituality, because of my upbringing that I came from. So it took me a while to get to this place, because when I first was on YouTube, it was all about entertaining people, but it wasn't about teaching others. So I'm learning constantly through these, especially my top 3. So also you can find that in your Saturn placement, because that is the placement of long-term things. So I also have a Saturn in Aquarius, which means that I'm also going to be helping people in not just around me, but I'm mostly going to be helping humanity. I'm going to be helping people through my channel. This is the best way for me to reach people globally. And if you're interested in numerology, go ahead and check out your life path, because that actually gives you a significant thing, like an actual significant thing that you can look at. So that's the best cheat way, or the cheat code to actually looking at your purpose in life. Just generally speaking, a way to find this without just going into those placements is to basically meditate and ask the creator what to do. Once you slow down your mind, and once you come to the conclusion that you have an issue, you will be led. You will be led. Your talents often show you your route to purpose as well. So use your talents wisely. And again, where does your talents come from? Your sacral. And just remember, in general, if you are struggling with identity, that it is a journey of self-discovery. Life is about self-discovery. So don't fret, do not worry that you are not in the place that you want to be right now, that you don't understand yourself 100%, because it is a journey on finding it, okay? Especially if you have all of those things happening in your chart. These are not things to hurt you, these are things to help you grow. So I hope you guys like this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for listening. And do not forget to support me on Patreon, even if you can. I also have links in the description box below where you can give off one-off donations if you feel like you can't support me monthly either. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching me. Bye, 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 bye.